Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Jordan here, bringing you episode 2 of our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode here in NHL 26. Now, before we get into the simulation, we're just going to quickly talk about the plans for this team moving forward. We did get a couple of comments. First comment from my boy Elite Edge Nation. He says, "Go Pens, go." He is a Pittsburgh fan, so hopefully we do him proud in this series. And the second comment's from Scottish Terrier Lover. He says that he doesn't think it's a good idea to trade anyone to try to win a cup, that it's best to start the rebuild now, especially because the prospects we do have are not top prospects by any means. They are only medium, top 4, and top 6 forwards and defensemen respectively. So that's what we're going to do in this episode is we are going to go full rebuild. We're going to start the season off by leaving the team as is. We will sim about a month or two, and hopefully we're losing games. If we are going on a crazy run, I might just sell right away without getting your guys' input. But my plan is to get to about the trade deadline, show you guys what prospects and picks are available, and give you an idea of what trades we should do so that I can get your guys' feedback on what trades we should actually go ahead and make. But with all that out of the way, let's get right into the simulation here. Alright guys, so before we get into the simulation, just want to give you guys a refresher on what the lines are. So you can see here, I ended up moving Novak to the third line and giving Koivunen first line minutes. It's because he fits the scheme well enough that he actually gives it a +3, where Novak only gives a +2. Koivunen is at 22 years of age. I want to give him a chance in the show. I don't think it's going to do him any good to play in the AHL. So if he can get first line minutes alongside Sidney Crosby, that's definitely going to help his development. And then these are what we're rocking defensively. I mean, we're going to wait and see. If we're making some sort of crazy run, we might have to let the guys play it out and make the playoffs. But also tanking for McKenna. Even though we have him in the Bison series, it would be nice to have him here in Pittsburgh. All right, so now that that's out of the way here, we've got the conversation with Dan Muse. I usually skip this in the Bison series, but for Pittsburgh, we're going to leave it in. So, hello, GM Jordan. Together, we have a great opportunity to lead this team to greatness. Our journey starts now. Let's establish our goals and make the most of this season. So I'm curious what he thinks on the roster. And yeah, I agree. There is a lot of time. We're not going to say we have to make the playoffs. And for preseason, we just are going to go here. I think there's team bonding. Let's get the management morale up, the teammate morale up. It's going to be a rough season, so let's make sure that we've got a decent locker room there. And I'm excited to get this series underway. I'm, ready to usher in a new era here in Pittsburgh. Hopefully we can do about a 3 to 5 year rebuild before we are really ready to, make a deep playoff run again. And my goal is that we will land one of McKenna or DuPont. Those are kind of the two franchise players. It would be awesome to add one of them as the leading force of the rebuild. So we start the season off with a win against the Chicago Blackhawks. That's always nice. We're going to have to get some wins here. We'll just head coach replace player that injury. All right, so we're 3-1 to start. And all right, we've got another injury. I actually think that is the injury replacement. So we'll just head coach replace the player once again. And then, of course, Erik Karlsson is ready. So it should be an interesting season. I think that if we're in a playoff spot come the trade deadline, I might sell a couple prospects and buy. I mean, Crosby and Malkin and Letang have given everything to this organization. I think they definitely deserve the chance at a playoff run, but they've got to do it with the things we have available. We're not going out to make trades and acquire players. But if they can lead this team as is to a playoff spot, I think, we owe it to them for how much they've done for the city, for the franchise, give them a shot. As we're 8-5-1 here after the first month. So we're definitely in the playoff hunt early. Take a look at the stats here very quickly. You can see Sidney Crosby leading the way with 22 points. What else is new? Malkin with 17, so he's cooking up. And then Raquel, no goals, but 14 assists. And then Koivunen, he's got 7 points. He's on the power play. He is a two-way forward, and the offensive awareness isn't too high. So, it's not a big deal if he is not putting up the points. It's all about getting that ice time so that he can skyrocket in overall. And then Carlson's having a bit of a down year, as well as Letang. I would like a little bit more points. But at the end of the day, we're in a playoff spot and the team's playing pretty well. Take a quick look here at the goalies. And Sheeloss hasn't played very much, but when he has, he's been good. Tristan Jarry, he's not doing that great at all. So yeah, very hopeful that, the guys can make a playoff run. I know we talked about it's not a good idea to trade anybody away to win a cup. But I mean, it's just tough when you're looking at guys like Crosby and Malkin. Again, when they've done so much for the city, it's really hard to say, like, sorry, guys, we're not even going to try. If they're here, if they can put in the work, I'll give it to them. We're getting a lot of injuries down there in Wilkes-Barre. So hopefully the injury train can kind of slow down here. Yeah, lots of injuries so far for the AHL. 9-7-1, now 10-7-1. I mean, this division is not the best in my opinion. So it's definitely going to be a lot easier to force our way into the playoffs. So we are getting hit with the injury bug here quite a bit. It seems like every game, even in the NHL, there's an injury. We're on a bit of a 3-game win streak here. Make it 4 of getting Malkin is ready to get back in the lineup. The Koivunen just went down with an injury. Anton Heinen, he's ready to get back in the lineup. And he already is, so we're just going to leave the lines as is. Man, the injuries in this game are ridiculous. It seems like if the slider is just a little high, you get every injury in the world. And if you turn it down even one, you just get no injuries. I really hope they fix this. This is definitely frustrating to get hit with an injury every single game. Hopefully it's just a one-year thing, as we are first in the Metro despite the injuries. We got an AHL player back in the lineup. So yeah, as we get the simulation going again, we did win this game versus Vegas. And like I said, we are first in the Metro. So I don't know, guys, if the rebuild is going to happen in this episode. Again, like I said in episode 1, if we were going with the rebuild approach, we were going to play it slow. And if the players were playing good, we were going to let them get into the playoffs. So let me go ahead and get these lines figured out, and hopefully these injuries can slow down. All right, so we got the lines figured out. Another injury down there in Wilkes-Barre. 16-9-2. Another injury in Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. These injuries are not stopping. This is definitely going to be a little bit more of a challenge to edit. Hopefully you guys can bear with me on that process. There's definitely a few times when I am changing the AHL lines that I forget to press select there, and then I have to stop the sim, and usually I miss a game. And just like that, Anthony Mantha, he's ready to go again. So let me get these lines figured out once again. All right, we got the lines figured out. We get the sim going again, and just like that, another injury. Oh my god, this episode, injuries, injuries, injuries. That's the title of the episode right now, I'm telling you. We get Philip Tomasino ready to go once again. Slot him right back into the lineup here, as he's actually in the lineup as a defenseman. So let me make some roster moves, and I'll pick this back up when the simulation has started again. All right, so we got the line straightened out, as Calgary here is offering us a trade for Novak. We're going to decline that, though. We are starting to slide a little bit here out of the lead for the division, despite the fact that we are still winning games. as we are 20-10-3, I believe. Graves is ready to go. We'll get him put right back into the, and hopefully we can keep this winning going. I know you guys want to rebuild, but I think it's going to be best this way if we give Crosby and Malkin a chance to win. To me, that just seems like the right thing to do. We got to get Owen Pickering back in the AHL lines. And I don't know, I'm just as surprised as maybe you guys might be that we're actually winning games. I mean, we talked with Dan Muse at the start of the season, and he said this team was a ways away from competing. And, I agreed with that 100%. So to see us winning so many games, it's a pleasant surprise, I will say. I mean, I know that this first draft could be pretty big for us in terms of a prospect we can get, even if we don't get McKenna, right? There's other top 4 or 5 picks available that are going to be maybe not as impactful, but can definitely lead the charge. As we stop on January 1st, we are 24-13-3. We have a decent cushion on the Rangers, about 5 points there, but the Capitals, they have a good cushion on us, about 7 points. And we're looking pretty good even for a wild card spot when you look at the Atlantic Division. So I think it's going to be playoffs for us. Now we're just going to take a quick look at the stats, see how everybody is performing. You can see Malkin slowed down a little bit, not quite a point per game. That's obviously going to happen with how many injuries we've gotten. But Crosby, he's not skipping a beat halfway through the season. He's on pace for 100 points. That power play is doing pretty good. Koivunen, he's doing decent. Hasn't got any growth yet, but 8 goals, 11 assists for the rookie. I'm pretty happy with that. I would say Erik Karlsson could be doing a little bit better, especially since he's on the first power play. But other than that, it all looks pretty good to me. We've definitely been missing a lot of players due to injury. Tristan Jarry, his numbers are starting to look good, and Arthur Sheloff's, he's up to a 79, and he has incredible numbers. Hopefully this season he can get a little bit of jumping overall. If he does, we'll definitely use him next year as the starter. Whether we buy out Jari or trade him, this is definitely his last year in Pittsburgh. At least if I have anything to say about it, maybe you guys want us to keep him. But we're doing good so far this year. Let's just get right up to the trade deadline here. That's where we'll cut the episode. And hopefully there's a good idea of whether we're going to be a playoff team or not, so that there's a good answer here for what you guys can suggest that we do. I pray that the injuries slow down just a little bit. I really hope that the injuries can slow down here. Even just a little bit would be nice. We're starting to get some trade offers. We might have to trade or change our trading block. Sorry. That's no good. Arthur Sheloff's is down. Let me get these lines fixed up. All right, so we got the lines all figured out. Arthur Sheloff's is back from injury. And just like that, Kevin Hayes goes down. I mean, we're battling through the adversity of, fighting through all these injuries. And despite that fact, we are still headed towards the playoffs. So I got to say, I'm impressed with the guys. So yeah, despite all the injuries, we still set comfortable in a playoff spot. There's a good chance, guys, we're going to do the rest of this series with injuries off. Please, if you guys are playing franchise mode, give me some suggestions here. In the Bison series, I'm pretty sure I still have injuries turned on, and because the slider is ever so slightly down, we get no injuries, but here it's literally moved up 1, and I'm getting injuries every other game. I gotta say, this is definitely frustrating for me to record, as almost every time I edit the lines and I'm about to tell you guys we're back getting the sim underway, I get another injury. It's definitely frustrating for me. It is definitely going to get frustrating for you guys, I would say, as well, because it's a lot of jump cuts, and I am missing some games in the simulation because of it. So yeah, if you guys are playing franchise mode, let me know what you guys do. If there's anything I can change to get the injuries down, I'm definitely gonna bring this to EA's attention if I can. I can maybe tell some of the hut guys that I am in their streams. Maybe they can say something, because it seems pretty ridiculous to me that I'm either no injuries or non-stop injuries, and there's nothing in between. So now we've got Arthur Sheeloff as the starter for a little bit. Hopefully he can get some more victories. We are 34, 20, and 4. Starting to go on a little bit of a losing spree here. But there we go. We beat Washington just as Jari is coming back from injury. So Jari, he's ready to go. As the injuries keep on coming, man. They won't quit for me. I'm pretty sure I'm committed to leaving them on for the rest of this season. But definitely season number 2, they're probably going to get turned off. In my opinion, this is a little bit too much. And it's definitely very overwhelming for me, I will say, to stop and start the simulation. We'll just put Dewar in there as a defenseman. I don't really care that much. As we're going on quite the losing spree here, the Flyers have caught up to us. We've dropped down to 3rd in the Metro. Another injury down in Wilkes-Barre. There we go. Just as I say that, we get a player coming back from injury down there. This is definitely a lot to manage. I will say that. All right, we got 2 games left to go here before we get to the trade deadline, and then we will wrap up this video. We get Matt Dumba back from injury once again. Hopefully we can get a win here against Carolina. It's been quite the month of losing, and no, we can't. So here we go, guys. We sit in a awkward position where we might make the playoffs or we might not. I definitely think I'm going to have to agree with Scottish Terrier here, and we definitely just go into rebuild mode. There's obviously a chance we can make the playoffs, but for me, I don't think it's worth it for us to give up picks and prospects when it's not a guaranteed spot. If we had been able to keep pace with the Capitals and we were all but a lock for the playoffs, then yes, absolutely we go ahead and we trade away the farm to get one last run in for these guys. But it's not looking good. Sidney Crosby, though, he's still playing with that fire. He's got 82 points. Looks like he's going to get back up to 100 points for the first time since 2018-19. You love to see that. He's also guaranteed himself a point per game, so he continues to extend the record that he broke from Gretzky for point per game seasons. Evgeny Malkin hovering right around a point per game as well. Same with Rust. Rust should definitely fetch us a pretty penny on the market. You've got Ricard Raquel as well. Could fetch us a pretty penny. He's only got 8 teams we cannot trade him to. Anthony Mantha, though, 39 points. I believe he is up 1 overall, although I could be wrong. So he might have some trade value as well. Unfortunately, we most likely will not be trading Letang in this season. Same thing with Erik Karlsson, just because they have those no-move clauses. But on the bright side, we can definitely buy out Erik Karlsson if we have to in the offseason, or maybe if our team is bad enough, he will waive. Ville Kuvanen now up to a 79. He's playing 20 minutes a night. I'm gotta say, I'm impressed with his season. Since he's a two-way forward, I feel like 30 points is pretty good for a rookie of his caliber. Again, I would have liked to have seen more from Karlsson, but other than that, especially with all the injuries, I'm pretty happy with how the roster is performing. And then Arthur Sheeloss, man, a 930 save percentage and a 241. He's looking like the future in Pittsburgh. I think he could definitely become a starting goalie for us. We could even trade Tristan Jarry next episode as well. We'll go ahead. I'll show you guys quickly here. Been recording for about 30 minutes, so it's going to be around a 30-minute episode as there isn't a lot for me to cut out. So you can see kind of what we're looking with for trade value. We've got Brian Rust. He's our big fish. He's got 3 years left. We definitely could hold on to him, but I think it's better if we just get rid of him. Let's make the roster worse so we can get a decent pick. And then we have Novak as well, who we can get rid of. We're not going to get rid of Kindle. He's down there in the AHL. He's doing not too shabby. And McGroarty, he's up to an 81. My opinion is we leave him in the AHL for the entire year, but I'd be curious to know what you guys think about that. As well, here you can see there's the Koivunen jump up. So yeah, we do not have a lot of trade value. Anthony Mantha did not go up. There's Kevin Hayes, who we probably should trade away. We're not going to get too much. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. Again, there's just not a lot of trade value here. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get Erik Karlsson to waive his trade clause. I doubt he does, but it's worth a shot. Okay, there we go, guys. Karlsson waives. We'll have to see what that looks. So we can trade Erik Karlsson. We can trade Erik Karlsson. Let's see if we can do the same thing with Evgeny Malkin. Honestly, let's see. Okay, Malkin sees a future here. So we're not trading Malkin, unfortunately. We will try with Chris Letang as well. Alright, so we are not successful. We go 1 for 3. But honestly, I'll take that because Erik Karlsson's right there with Brian Rust. So now, if we take a look around the league, the Hurricanes, they want him. I don't believe they have any big prospects they'd want to get rid of. If I can use the right trigger. They do have Nadeau. He'd probably be the one I would want. He would fit right alongside the AHL roster pretty nicely. We go ahead. Chicago also wants him. Chicago's an interesting one because they definitely have prospects, but obviously they don't want to give them up. So it will be pretty difficult to make a trade happen. And yeah, they don't want to get rid of draft picks either. We got the Dallas Stars want Karlsson as well. If we take a look at rookie skaters, they don't have much. Detroit Red Wings want him as well. So there is options, guys. I'm not going to go through every single team. But Erik Karlsson, we can trade him. So you guys will have to let me know what do you think we should target with Rust and with Karlsson. Do we try to get picks or do we stack up some prospects instead? I'm fine with whatever you guys want to do. Maybe I should have sold right at the beginning of the episode, but I did say I was going to give the guys a chance. They just haven't shown enough for me. It's unfortunate because unless we get lucky, we won't see a top 3 pick just because of how good we started the season. But I'm fine with that. Again, we had to let these guys have a chance. But with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up the video here. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. Obviously, if you guys think I made the wrong decision, let me know, honestly. I'm fine with hearing some criticisms. Let me know what you think we should do in terms of trading. Again, Karlsson and Rust, they are gone in next episode. I'll probably trade them before we go into the trade deadline and then just do some of the smaller fish once we're actually inside the deadline. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means the world to me. Make sure to like and subscribe, and YouTube will see you in the next one.